few days ago, I officially gave up, trying to fight for views on YouTube. Of course, I'm not saying that I gave up, posting content. As a matter of fact, I still have 4 YouTube channels that I'm still going to continue to post content to, because content, I've come to find out that is one, very good creative outlet for me. I do a lot of stuff, and there must be the possibility for me to be able to come here and just speak about the things that I do. Otherwise, I'm going to be working alone. The kind of business that I do entails that you are pretty much just alone. I am a reseller. I sell used computers, used laptops, used desktop PCs, monitors and stuff like that on eBay. And most of the time, I am just in my warehouse, doing my thing. It's either I'm shipping out stuff, posting new offers, cleaning stuff, testing the electronic devices, because IT hardwares, you have to test them before you can actually, put 100% guarantee on those items. If I were selling clothes, perhaps I wouldn't be sitting here all day long. I don't know what happens when you sell clothes, but I'm just saying that I'm most of the time just with myself, and I have to have this opportunity for me to actually, communicate with people, share whatever I'm doing with people, and people, get back to me by way of comments and stuff like that. All right. I started posting on YouTube, let's say a few years ago, pretty much like 3-4 years ago. I started actively posting across these 4 channels I talked about, because why do I even have 4 channels in the first place? Because when I was starting out on YouTube, it pretty much like what everybody does, we're going out, looking out for where the best information is, where the hack is, what's that thing that you can use to hack the system. People talked about you not sharing all your passion on one channel. Look, if you love cooking, you have to have a channel for cooking. All right. Otherwise, if you mix up the different things that you do on one channel, the algorithm is going to be confused, which I kind of later on found out that is so far away from the truth. In any case, the algorithm will be confused, doesn't know who to recommend your videos to, and because of that, people started having different channels, one for sport, one for fitness, one for reselling, just stuff like that. So I also bought into this logic, this lie, so to say. All right. Fast forward to today, I have come to realize so many things. I've come to realize that the more you want to chase this thing called YouTube views, this is not only just bad, but it's actually a recipe for burnout. You're going to ultimately burn out yourself. If you just go onto YouTube now, type on the search bar creator burnout, you're going to be shocked how many A-class creators that you would have thought they figured out everything. They have got the team, they got the money, they got the good cameras, they got the good conditions, because to be said, making YouTube videos, you also have to have the right conditions. If you do not have the right conditions, you are going to be in on a long thing. All right. What am I saying? I'm saying that creators that you would have naturally thought that everything has been figured out by them still burn out. They still burn out because of this same reason, which is you are creating YouTube videos, you are trying to look for a way to hack the system. You are being told every day that creating YouTube videos has a lot to do with titles, has a lot to do with thumbnails, which cannot also be so far away from the truth. It has a lot to do with consistency. It has a lot to do with all that BS that's been sold to you on a daily basis. And if you are not careful, if you have not put in the reps long enough, like myself, to begin to notice the patterns, you're going to continue to chase those views, and you're going to ultimately burn out. The problem is some people chase these views and things tend to work for them while chasing these views. So because of that, you do not really see this, this boundary, this demarcation, how toxic it can be for you to set out posting YouTube videos with the sole intention of chasing the views. You hear a viral topic or title, you want to jump into it. You see a viral format, you want to jump into it. You see, a topic that is not in any way related to the things that you like, but because you know that that topic has the capacity to generate views, you want to jump into it. You see a kind of thumbnail trend, you want to do it. You see that people are using a particular title structure, you want to do it. Guys, I'm just telling you, you are digging your burnout path. Long end of discussion. You're going to ultimately burn out, and if you are lucky, your burnout is not going to be so severe. I've seen creators burnt out. It takes them years to come back to this platform. Some of them takes them 3 or 4 years. Some of them take the lucky ones, they come out after about 6 months or 1 year. You see, I've seen big creators that you would naturally question, why would you be burnt out when you already moved? You should have known this. Yes, chasing view is a very toxic thing, and it's like addiction. If you are addicted to it, it's very hard to come out of it. And most times the people that chase views, they are also not far away from being a perfectionist. You want everything to be perfect before you can bring out a YouTube video. You want to spend hours crafting the video because you have been told that if your video has a structure, it has a particular storyline, it's going to do well. Guys, I'm telling you, that again, I came to realize is a big lie, because right now I'm here in my hotel room. I am on holiday in Italy, and I felt like, bring out your camera, make a video, and I am just making the video. This is exactly how you succeed on this platform, because truth be said, there are so many things that we do not know about this platform. There are so many things that the platform is even not willing to disclose to us. If you have stayed long enough, you will finally see it, and the moment you see it, you will not be able to unsee it again, which was the point I got to. And I said to myself, oh, if the whole thing is so set up like this, it makes no sense to begin to still be chasing views in a system that has clearly shown a lot of inconsistencies. You might be thinking now that if you are consistent posting, in a particular niche that ordinarily the YouTube algorithm has shown that they have a lot of people that these videos that you post will serve, you will continue to get views. It is not like that. It's not so easy like you would expect. Some people post on the make money online niche, they do not get views. Some people post on the finance niche, they do not get views. Some people post in the cooking niche, they do not get views. And there are some channels that consistently just get views. It doesn't matter what they post. It doesn't matter what kind of titles they use. All right, that already goes a long way to telling you that, look, it's not about you chasing a trend. Yes, you might be lucky like 1 or twice. It doesn't necessarily mean that your channel is going to be unlocked to now continue to get views all year round. It doesn't work like that. And the moment I also realized that a lot of the creators, selling you this pipe dream of you changing your thumbnail, changing your whatever you call it, your titles, using a particular format, some of them don't even get views. I don't want to mention name here, not just to to start a fight, but if you look deeply on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of creators that spent years studying the YouTube platform. They were gurus at a time. They stopped being gurus. They came back again to becoming teachers, teaching you all day long how the algorithm works, how you can crack the code, how you can succeed. At the end of the day, they put out a video and the video naturally flops, even though they have done everything they need to do. They have put in the thumbnails, the back-end keywords, titles, everything on point, video delivery 100%. But for some funny reason, just one of the reasons I told you, that YouTube itself is not willing to disclose to us why this happens, and it's even beyond anybody to understand this. You put out a video, realize that these videos do not get views for some funny reason. YouTube is not disclosing to us what exactly they want. Some of these videos don't get impressions. It is what it is. See, I'm telling you, if you have not put out a lot of videos like myself, go to my channel, this channel, Hardware Flipper, you'll be able to see exactly what I am talking about. You see that there was a season of my content creation journey, I was putting out videos on a daily basis, because at a point I thought that you being consistent was exactly what you needed to explode on the platform. But that wasn't going to be, because the more I kept putting out videos, the more I kept using the keywords, the more, for some funny reason, the channel was just getting the same 5 views, 10 views. And when I take a look at YouTube, I see people putting out the same kind of content. Not everybody, to be honest. A lot of people were also in my category, just putting out videos. The videos were consistently flopping for no reason. Some even get very good, analytics, like good click-through rates, good impression, but for no reason the impressions were consistently shown to people that had no interest in that topic. Imagine making a reselling video and the video is being shown to people talking about trees. They're not going to click on this video. This is easy to understand, and you would have naturally thought that the YouTube algorithm should naturally understand that, but they continuously push those videos to those wrong audience, not because of anything that you have done wrong. You put in the keyword, you put in the hashtag, you put it in the description that this your video is about reselling. You talk about it in the first 10-15 seconds. You mention it over and over and again while delivering the video, but the algorithm will tell you, I still do not know that this video is about reselling, which absolutely made no sense. And when I figured out that, and I realized that, look, there are so many things that we are not being told here on this platform. The more you continue to chase views, the more you're ultimately going to burn out yourself. You're going to be disappointed, and you're going to just get to a point where your brain is not going to be able to, even process again, because you keep asking questions. And at that point, a lot of resellers, at that point, a lot of content creators just give up, because they're going to say it makes no sense. But what have I found out? The more you make videos, the more you speak to your camera, the more you're able to articulate your point. You see, a few years ago, I would not be able to have done this. I'm speaking now for the last 13 minutes, going 14. I have not made a break, and my points have just been exactly what I imagined in the beginning of the video. I set out to make a video as to why I stopped chasing views, and I have been, following whatever I imagined in the beginning to this point. And sometimes you see some cuts here and there in the video, just because where I am is a camping place, a little bit loud. Sometimes the aeroplane is going up on the, or some people are walking on the street, and I just take a break so that this sound do not come into the video. And all this I'm going to cut out at some point. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here delivering to you guys what I plan to talk about. This wasn't going to be many years ago. I'm telling you, many years ago, if I tried to start speaking to my camera, I suddenly forget my name, suddenly forget what I want to talk about. It was bad. It was bad. My mouth suddenly gets seized. I'm able to even articulate any point. I was so conscious what I was saying. I was so conscious how I was looking at the camera. Everything was just so odd. But because I didn't stop making content, I put on the reps, or I put in the reps, did it over and over and again. Today, I have come to that point where I no longer need a script to talk about the things I want to talk about. First, because they are my experiences. Secondly, I'm not trying to trigger the algorithm in any way. I'm not trying to sit here, try to see how I can manipulate you guys to stay longer. If you find this video interesting, you will naturally stay longer. If it's a content or a topic that you relate with, I have noticed that it will naturally stay longer. Doesn't matter what you do to try to trick you, which is the listener or the viewer of your video. It doesn't matter what a content creator does to try to trick you to stay longer. Those that will stay longer will stay longer. And even if you succeed in using editing and a lot of screen flashes to trick the viewer to stay longer for one video, ultimately the person is not going to watch the next video. Perhaps, let's say the viewer or whatever, the subscriber watches the next video, there's going to come a point where the subscriber is going to say, look, I don't think I want to watch this video, because I noticed that in the end, this content creator has a way of tricking me in, putting a lot of flashes on the screen, a lot of transitions, a lot of editing. At the end of the day, my life hasn't changed in any way. The content that the creator is talking about, or whatever topic, I can't seem to find a solution even after watching a 12 minutes video, and this is exactly what was going on. You see creators that were very popular back in the days, especially in the make money online niche. Right now, a lot of them are struggling to get views because people suddenly realized that it made no sense what they were doing, what they were offering, and they were just like capturing you in with the big bogus titles, the bogus thumbnails, and stuff like that. So what should you do instead? Yes, you're going to continue to create content. You're going to continue to talk about your experience. You're going to continue to encourage people, because you creating content, you are going to unlock so many skills, so many characters, so many traits in your life. You're going to unlock so many things that you never ever thought was possible. You're going to be more confident. You're going to be more aware who you are. You're going to be more aware what you love, because sometimes when I try to dabble into an area like, say, politics, after making like 1 or 2 videos, I quickly realized that this is not an area that I really love to make content on. Sometimes I try to dabble into, being a YouTube, advisor or something like that, but depending on what you want to call it. I quickly realized also that this is not an area for you, but I kind of realized that making content about you succeeding doing something online, doesn't matter if it is, you selling, buying and selling, creating content, you have to be seen doing something. Because if you are just here working just your 9-to-5 job, I'm telling you, you are doing something fundamentally wrong, especially for those that have been endowed with the capacity to do more. If all you think is that you just want to work a 9-to-5 job, I have no problem with that. But there are some people that just naturally have more energy, more power, more mental bandwidth, more resources available to them to do something. If you are not doing anything, you are doing something wrong. Not necessarily because of the money, but because nature or the universe has so endowed you to help or to be of service to a lot of people outside, and you doing it through content, you doing it through entrepreneurship, owning a small business is one way you can actually be of service to these people. All right, because at the end of the day, we are all placed here to serve. This is what I have come to realize after many years of trying to find out the answer of why I was placed here, originally in the first place. All right, so you got keep making content. I'm going to continue to make content, but my content are going to be devoid from view chasing. I don't even know what to title this video. When I finally put my stick on my my editing software on my computer and then try to cut out some of the the points I want to remove from the video, I'm going to decide on a topic for the video, and the thumbnail is pretty much just going to be me sitting down here. I'm not going to do anything about trying to polish it. I'm not going to do anything about trying to increase the intensity or the contrast or stuff like that, because of that I am DONE done. Right? Hope this video helps you. If you have found value one way or the other, consider subscribing. Otherwise, I'm going to see you again in the next one. Peace.